Too little to the mall. Only a couple capos and 100 fucking dimes. College lot of game, you get your shit popped. Tango with a drum, if your chain never go stop. Yeah, man, I ain't more shit.
Almost a year ago today, I uploaded a video on how the GTA 6 community found the actor for Lucia. And since that video, there hasn't been a doubt in anyone's mind that Manni L Perez will be portraying Lucia in GTA 6. But ever since I made that video, I have constantly gotten asked one question: who plays Jason? For almost 2 years now, many different people have been theorized to play Jason, but after trailer 2, it seems that one man has stuck out among the rest, and it seems that we may have finally figured out who is playing Jason in GTA 6. Now, I need to quickly clarify something. While I am 110% confident in the fact that Lucia is being played by Manni L Perez, my confidence in Jason's isn't quite as clear. But I'm still about 95% that this is the right person. With both characters, there have been a few people who were theorized to have played them. With Lucia, there was Anna Esposito and a few others, but none of them quite fit the bill as well as Manni L Perez. With Jason, it's a bit of a different story. Like I said, over the last 2 years, there have been 20 plus people who have been theorized to be Jason, but out of those 20 or so people, only 5 of them have become the community's top picks. These people are Jake Silberman, Gregory Connors, Roger Craig Smith, Troy Baker, and Dylan Rourke. But with that said, we were actually able to narrow this list down thanks to some of these actors. We know for a fact that 3 of these actors have already denied their involvement with GTA 6, that being Jake Silberman, Troy Baker, and Roger Craig Smith. We know from interviews with Roger Clark, Arthur from RDR2, and also Ned Luke, that they were barred from talking about what they were working on in any capacity, even with their families. So if an actor is coming out and denying their role as Jason in GTA 6, I think it's safe to assume that that really is the case.
That your voice is so identical to the voice in the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer.
So people think and they just automatically assume. And I want that guy, to whoever it is, to get credit for his work, because I'm sure it's going to be great. And I know many people who worked for Rockstar, Roger Clark, Ned Luke included, that that's a grind, man. Like those guys pour themselves into those characters, and they deserve all of the credit for their work. Not me.
Some people have made the argument that this is them trying to throw people off, but I don't even think Rockstar would allow them joking about their role. This NDA clause is backed up by the fact that Manni L Perez also hasn't said anything regarding her involvement, opting to instead turn off comments for a while instead of denying working on the project, despite us being overly sure that she is Lucia. So that leaves 2 realistic candidates left, Gregory Connors and Dylan Rourke. So we will start with Gregory Connors first. Now, Gregory Connors is a weird one, and it's for one main reason. Back in April of 2024, it was found that listed on his resume, it said, "To be determined lead role with Rockstar Games." After being discovered, this was later removed from his resume, and his resume has since become private on the Actors Access website, but by looking at the Wayback Machine, we can clearly see that he did in fact have this listed. This is the best piece of evidence we have for Gregory Connors portraying Jason in GTA 6. As you can tell, he doesn't really look like him at all, and the voice, while similar, doesn't have the same raspiness to it.
I saw you with him.
What?
I saw you with him.
The only other thing going for him that people bring up is that he didn't get credited for a single piece of work in 2023, which, judging from what Take-Two said earlier about GTA 6's development not starting in full until 2020, that could mean that 2023 was when they did a fair amount of filming for their roles, but that is purely speculation. But there is still one more person that most people believe to be playing Jason, and that is Dylan Rourke. Dylan is who I believe to personally be playing Jason based off everything that I've seen. And although he may not have Rockstar Games listed on his resume yet, there is quite a bit of evidence that leads most people to Dylan playing Jason. We will start with the obvious, his looks. We know from a mix of the leaks and trailers that Jason is 6'1", has blonde hair, and blue eyes. and that is the exact same build as Dylan Rourke. His facial structure may not be one-to-one, but obviously we know that that isn't always the case when looking at Nico Bellic and his actor from GTA 4. Not to mention that I have kind of a crackpot theory that Jason's design is partly inspired by Paul Walker in Fast and Furious anyway, but that's for another video. But now, the most objective piece of evidence that we have is his voice. After Dylan Rourke had first been theorized after trailer 1, many snippets of Jason's voice from the leaks were compared to some of Dylan's acting work, and the similarities were too much to ignore.
We're up. Let's not get cocky. We're in this together. On the field, off the field. Protect the ball.
Might have to shoot you all. So what the fuck do we do now? Let's get out clean, baby. Come on.
Because of this, CS Software, a member of the GTA 6 community, did a forensic analysis between Jason and Dylan Rourke's voice, and they are as close as you can get without them saying the exact same phrase. In fact, CS Software even did the exact same test for Manni L Perez and Lucia as well, and he came to the exact same conclusion that he did with Jason and Dylan. Dylan is known for having a wide range of accents he can portray, so even if his normal talking voice isn't one-to-one, it's very easy for his training to get him to sound exactly like it. But his voice isn't all that Dylan has going for him. Back in 2019, right before GTA 6 would have started full development, Dylan's agency had congratulated him on landing a role with a video game, and a video game that he has still not been credited for, meaning it is still being worked on. However, he has already put professional mocap on his resume, despite, like I said, not being credited for any mocap work yet. Now, that is most of the real evidence that we have to tie Dylan Rourke to Jason, but just like Lucia, there are a few coincidences that can't be ignored either. For example, both Dylan Rourke and Manni L Perez used to follow each other on Instagram, which is kind of important in of itself because assuming they're both working on GTA 6, this is the only role that they've ever shared together, and Manni has also followed a bunch of other actors from previous GTA games as well. However, after Manni was outed after trailer 1, they have since both unfollowed each other. Some other circumstantial evidence is that after Legacy Killa HD made a video explaining his reasoning for Dylan Rourke being Jason, all of Dylan's demo reels were made private, which if you are an actor currently looking for a new role, that wouldn't be the smartest decision unless you already have a huge secret role already lined up. And if you subscribe to the idea that Manni L Perez is Lucia as most do, then it's also important to note that both Manni and Dylan haven't appeared in anything new since 2023, which lines up with the production of GTA 6. And I mentioned a similar thing for Gregory Connors not having starred in anything in the year 2023, but he has since done a whole bunch of roles in 2024, which I don't think lines up quite with GTA 6's development. And another huge part for Jason is that he currently lives in New York, where the mocap studio for Rockstar Games is located. Now, from all this evidence that I've shown you, it's no surprise that Dylan Rourke's Instagram comments have now exploded into people getting excited to see him as Jason, because out of all of the other people that we've been theorizing, he is the most likely fit. Now, again, I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. I will be the first to admit that there is not nearly enough evidence to support Dylan Rourke as Jason as there is for Manni L Perez as Lucia. But with that said, there is more than enough evidence to not be able to ignore it. With Manni, we know she's done past work with GTA Online and did interviews talking about GTA, all of which were useful for pointing her out. With Jason, however, there has been no one with prior work with Rockstar, no interviews for us to go off of, and about 1 million people who fit Jason's description. But with that said, we are extremely confident in Manni L Perez as Lucia, and a big piece of evidence for that was the forensic voice analysis. And the same analysis was done for Dylan that came back just as clear as Manni's. And I think it's the best piece of evidence that we can rely on, as no one else's voice has come close. I'm not going to rule out the idea that Jason could be some random person we've yet to find, but from everything I've seen, Dylan Rourke is the most likely actor behind Jason. But whether or not you agree, you'll have to decide for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.